Danny here again, and today it's another episode of League Racing in AOR. We are in Belgium, and after I have showed you my setup, I would like to show you my fastest lap from the quali. In this video you will be able to see the highlights from the race, and I will use multiply views. I will use ACR Teams video footage, and I will use the footage from Sven Zerner's channel as well. They are all linked to the description. I think this lap was a very good lap, but as you can see the timer is nowhere, so it's at the very beginning of the qualifying, so the track definitely was better at the end, but I couldn't improve then, and I will show you at the end of the lap why I didn't improve for my second and the last try. As always, at the very beginning of my video, I would like you to pay attention for the social media sites where I am on. You can follow me, links are in the description, and I have a fantastic esports team called Veloce Esports, who are of course linked to. My teammate is Steerer Limitless, and I'm really happy about that. We will work together soon, very closely, and I really hope that you will like our plans. Please don't forget to follow us on every pages. Everything is in link, but I don't want to say it more times. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. But now I stop the usual self-advertising, and I think I didn't pronounce this word correctly. As you can see, my lap was nearly perfect. I could have used the track a little bit more sometimes. I could have had a better apex, for an example in the second sector, the very long right-hander. But all in all, it was a very good first lap, and you will be able to see that with that I will have the provisional pole position, which is very nice, and I still knew that I have a very good pace. You can see that I'm going back to the pit to set a new set of ultra soft tires. I just don't find the names of the tire compounds, because I don't even imagine what will happen next year when we will have 7. As you can see, I'm on my outlap, and I'm very slow. I am with low amount of fuel to have the less weight I can have, and I set the brake bias to 64% to not damage the rear tires. But my mistake was, I think you already know, I forgot to set it back to 54 as it's usually are, and I totally logged my front tires. I was so angry. I was so angry because of that, because I just messed up my lap in the first sector, and that's what I really don't like to do. As I mentioned, I set it to 64 in the outlap to not damage my rear tires, because it's a very long track and it's easy to hit them even on the outlap. So with my first lap, instead of pole position, instead of any better result, I had to accept P4. As the lights go on, I think I had an average start again, not the best. As you can see, I used Sven's video because he was the guy who got the pole position and he has the best action for the first lap. I think now I kept the 4th position. I was very happy. Zopa and Sven and Brandon Lee started to battle with each other. They were 3 wide in a moment, and I thought, okay, I need to be just very patient, and I will overtake one of them. And as you can see, Brandon Lee now just put Sven out to the gravel, and I managed to overtake Sven. It was a very lucky moment for me, because if Sven loses the backhand, we could have easily crashed out, but we survived, and it's a very nice thing. And I knew that I have the pace, and I knew that I'm in P3, and I knew that Brandon Lee will be fast, and I knew that Topa won't go away, and I knew that I will have chances to overtake them. And that's why I was very motivated. That's why I was very happy about this race start, because usually I lose positions at the start and I don't win them, because with my new wheel, as I have already mentioned in some of my oldest videos, I just can't find the correct wheel spin, the correct balance with the throttle, and maybe the clutch has a longer way back where it registers that I just let it than my old wheel, and maybe it takes more time for me to react, or at least my car to react that the lights are out. As you can see, ending the first lap, we are very close, and I didn't lose time to Brandon
Sorry,
and
Vizzy, didn't mean to
Topa.
die from you.
But
No
with
problem.
the slipstream not strong enough in this F1 2017, it's very hard to overtake from this this far. As you can see, I jumped to lap 3 and I'm still the same amount of time behind, and I'm not getting very closer. I opened DRS to Brandon. I felt like I am a little bit faster, but as you can see, I just can't get any closer. At least I got about 1 or 2 tenths up, but as you can see, it's very hard, and in these fast corners it's very hard to follow each other, because aerodynamically the turbulent air is not great. As you can see, Sven is back to the 4th position again after he overtook the guy who overtook him before. Brandon just pushed him out to the gravel, or at least after, and I think I'm not able to speak English correctly today, but as you can see, I'm totally using the perfect lines. I think I can't go any more nicer with this setup. I go from line to line. I am rich mix, and I thought that in this setup it's the maximum that I could give. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit closer to Brandon Lee in the slipstream. Actually, Topa was ahead of him over a second, so he wouldn't be able to just open DRS. That's why I was very happy that I can keep the pace, and I am very close to Brandon Lee. As you can see, arriving to the first corner or the first lap, I tried to brake very late, and not the first lap, the 4th lap, but it's very hard to exit the corner properly in the slipstream, because you just feel you don't have enough downforce at the back end or at the front end, and your car just doesn't want to turn in. As you can see, again, I'm a rich mix. My engine is a little bit overheating because it doesn't get cooling, and I think about diving in, but I thought that Topa is again a little bit far ahead, and I don't want to lose more time with battling. I just want to follow Lee. It's fantastic for me. I think I would have been faster by 1 or 2 tenths per lap, but it's not necessary for me to battle. It's not worth it, because if I don't win the battle, I lose a lot of time. Lee loses a lot of time, and Topa just goes away. So at this stage of the race, I just didn't want to attack. I just wanted to push better pressure on him to maybe make him to do a mistake, and I was just thinking about going maximum, save some fuel at the end of the race, but keep up with him, save some tires, and maybe when they pit, go to the end of the stint. As you can see, ending lap 4, I'm very close. I nearly hit the back of Brandon Lee, and again I open DRS. I am in his slipstream, and again sorry, I edit in Sven Zerner's video, who is of course linked in the description, and here I try to focus for the best possible exit from the first corner, but as you could see, I lost the back end a little bit. Sorry for this commentary now, but I am a little bit ill, and I don't really have so much time as a student, so I try to improvise. I usually write texts, but now I just can't do it, and here I try it from the outside, but Brandon cuts back at the braking, which is not very nice, but it's okay, and that's why Sven just goes to my inside. He keeps the car, and he has the inside line here as well. We make a little bit of a contact, and here I just try to keep it there. It was a stupid move from me to keep it there, because he had the position, and I just lost time and lost tire wear because of losing the back end and just hold the car. I'm very lucky that I didn't get any damage. As you can see, Topa went into the pit. It was a smart decision from him, because if Brandon goes into the pit, he could have overcut Topa like that, because in this track, in this very long track, every lap means about 1.5 seconds advantage when you pit earlier. As you can see, jumping to lap 7, everybody went into the pit front of me, and I stayed out, and I stayed out because I hope that they come back to traffic and they have to battle, and I will attack them at the very end of the race with better tires. Now I use the footage of Tim and I show you his replays at the very beginning from the race, and because he is my championship contestant, actually in this moment he's leading the championship by about 5 points or so. So that's why I just try to show you what's happening with him as well, because I think it's interesting to see the story behind the season. I think it's much more enjoyable. As you can see at the start, he gained 2 positions, and now he is attacking Slick. He lost the backhand a little bit, but in this very fast left-hander called Puhon, he just went to the inside, but Slick still kept it around the outside. But here again Tim had got the better lines, and that's why he managed to overtake. Marcel Kiefer made a mistake, so he overtook him. But now, jumping back to lap 7, I actually chose to go into the pits. I was thinking about that if I made the wrong call, I lose the chances for podium. But I really believe that the others will battle, and the others came back to traffic. But as you can see on the top left, and as you can see on the map, Sven Zerner, Brandon Lee and Sopa came back ahead of me, and further ahead of me than they were when they chose to go onto the pit. So it turned out that it's a bad call, and it turned out that you shouldn't stay out for that long, because even in traffic in this track the newer tires mean a lot and they gain an advantage over me. But this is the longest track in the calendar. Meanwhile, you see some footage from Sven Zerner as they overtake ACR Nobody. So this is the longest track of the calendar, and that's why I believe that it may be, if I pit just 1 or 2 laps later, it costs really much at the end of the race, because it's a long track, it's a 50% long race, so actually 1 lap means 2 laps if you watch it from a 100% perspective. So I believe that at the end of the race I will be able to attack them. I am very fast around here, it's one of my favorite track, actually it's my favorite track. And I overtook Raiko Gordon from the outside with the newer tires, but still I was a little bit frustrated, because while I got my first warning, I knew that Sven and Brandon, they are fantastic pilots, they are finalists, and they manage their tires properly. I hope that they will battle with each other, but you know, to get the 5-second advantage in 10 laps or certain laps against 2 esport finalists, even if they battle, it's pretty hard. And as you can see, Sven overtook some other guys ahead as well, and I overtake, or at least I try to get very close to ACR Nobody. And at this part of the race I felt that slipstream just totally went away. I felt that the slipstream
Did it push it
is
too wide,
not
or was
there.
it fine?
And you see that I'm faster than Nobody, but
Okay.
he definitely put his engine to lean mixture, because it's usually a thing when they don't want to battle, they put it to lean mixture, because they knew that they will lose position here and then, because they are not in the same race with us actually, because they are on all tires, they are without a pit stop, and they stand no chance. So that's why sometimes they just put down to lean mixture. But I felt like that at this part of the race I had absolutely no slipstream, and you will be able to see that Tim and Sven will have no slipstream as well, so it makes our job to overtake even harder. As you can see now, I'm behind Fizzy, and I think he didn't put it to lean mix. I went with 1 front wing, so definitely a very low downforce, and I didn't even lift to the throttle. As you can see, I was behind him, and I didn't gain anything basically behind that car. So yeah, it was a little bit hard to overtake, but still I managed to do that because of the better tires on my car with it. As you can see now, I am in P6, and the other opponent ahead of me is Failer, who is a really good friend of mine. You can find his channel as well in the description and in the comment section as well. I practice with him a lot. He's a very nice guy, and he drives in a cockpit view, so if you guys like to see some cockpit driving, definitely he is the guy to check out. He's a very fast and a very smooth pilot, so I definitely recommend him. But now, as you can see, he started to suffer with the grip, with the amount of grip he had on the old compound of the tires, and I was very close to him. But now in this straight you see that I have a better exit. I didn't even have to lift, I see, but basically there is no slipstream. I was just faster than him because he as well may have been in just the standard or in the lean mixture, and I had a much better exit from the corner. But from this point of the race there was no slipstream, and it was a little bit frustrating. But as you can see, I came behind Sven Zerner, so there was nobody else to overtake. And that's why, because I had an empty track, I would like to just show Tim's view, who also had no slipstream, and you will see what I'm talking about. As you can see, he is behind Schreikel Gordon and absolutely no gain, and it's a big issue because the server when it starts is usually great, but when somebody leaves or disconnects or joins back, it just bugs in. And I don't believe that in the 21st century it would be a very hard thing to solve for codemasters. I know netcode is not the easiest thing to work with, but still I find it kind of frustrating in 2017 that still we are talking about slipstream and no slipstream, while in 2013 or in 2014 I don't remember any bugs like that, so I don't know what's the difference. Maybe they just should change it back. But as you can see, Tim had some nice battles around, but here again, Fizzy, he just can't overtake because he has no slipstream, and he has to be very close. He has to risk everything to just save his race, and he has to risk his front wing, and here he puts an insane amount of pressure on Fizzy, and that's why he actually got overtaken by Simp. Here Fehler continued his suffering again, and that's why Simp managed to go up to the inside, and Simp did an absolutely amazing job. He started from super soft tires, and with these amount of battles, with starting from P8 or P9 actually, he was behind me by 3 seconds only, so it's a fantastic thing by him. But now, as you can see, Sven Zerner actually got a penalty as well for corner cuttings, and I finished on the podium, and I was very happy about that. This was today's video. As I mentioned, Brent only got a penalty as well, so actually I am in P2. But now I have to say goodbye, and I'm really grateful if you watched it until this point, and I hope you leave your thoughts down in the comment section, and I hope you liked the video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you in the next one.